You would like to ask any question?
I am sure that the practice you are teaching is working very well when the real up-pulling shaft is reached, but satsangis do not hear the shaft. They do not reach that level. Could it be that much Westerners cannot really practice the Surajapti yoga? That the highest path is too difficult for us. When shaft is reached, this path is easy, but it is not. But it is so hard to reach shaft. Should the Sadguru not be the one who gives shaft?
Well, brother, all satsangis and non-satsangis are same to start with. It makes no difference whether you belong to the east or belong to the west. Mind is same. There's no difference in the mind. But your way of living is little different than Indian way of living. Otherwise, tendency of the mind of everyone is always downward and outward. There's no difference in them at all. Some foreigners make better progress than Indians. Some Indians make better progress than foreigners. There's no question of any foreigner or Indian on the path. And since you have not even tried, you can't say. So, of course, it's difficult. I don't say it's very easy. It's not a cake on the plate. But it's not so difficult as it is depicted to us. We start enjoying the bliss and peace and happiness of meditation within ourselves, even if we don't have any visible results to our progress within.
Thank you.
Yes.
How will we know when we're ready for initiation? I want to start meditating, but I don't know how.
Sister, the pull must come from within. When we can't resist the pull, it becomes too much for us to bear, then we should think we are ready for it. As long as we can put it off, you can say that you are not ready for it. But everybody has to make an individual decision.
Thank you.
No other question by the seekers? Should we open to others? I hope they have no grievance now.
Master, I have been reading some of your books and about the questions and answers, almost like what we've been hearing for last few days. Is it all right for seeker to study your books?
Yes, books are meant to be studied, brother. You should study all the available literature. And if there's any question, you must thoroughly investigate about it. Thoroughly try to find its answer. Unless you are intellectually satisfied about the path, don't plunge into it, lest it may be too late. You must satisfy your intellect. Even if your whole life is lost, it's not time lost, it's time gained. You are building on a rock, not building on a sand. Foundation will be strong. Don't brush aside your intellect and try to follow any path. Either we should be fortunate enough not to have any intellect at all, which is not possible in this modern time. We're so fond of it. Or if we have intellect, we must satisfy it. We must have answer to our all query, all questions. Most of the questions are not solved, but they get dissolved. They become meaningless for us. So one should not hurry to follow any teaching. Books are meant to be read. Tapes are meant to be heard. Letters are meant to be written to satisfy one's intellect.
Thank you very much, Maharaji.
One last question, please. You have told us that God is within us. He lives within us. We are all God, and we have no free will. Is it He who enjoys to stand here asking you questions? Is it He who likes to eat vegetarian fruit? Is it He who enjoys to make love with his wife? Is it He who likes to play with his children?
Everything is He.
Then everything is okay.
Yes, you can say it, but when you go through the pain and suffering and go through all that misery, then it should also be okay. And don't cry and howl and weep. And that is also okay.
Master,
Yes.
here, over here.
Yes, please.
So often we ask the Master to intercede, to protect us, direct us, guide us, help us. How do we help the Master? How do we strengthen the Master?
Your good wishes are enough for the Master.
Thank you, Master.
Master, it seems to me from having thought about the path a bit lately that it seems like a big love game that's being played, and that Carl almost enjoys the game, and that sometimes I sort of I see God as looking on it all and enjoying it all and even having a bit of a laugh about it all. Would that be right?
Well, brother, to be very frankly, if we become a part of the play, then we suffer. If we see the whole play as a spectator, knowing fully well that play is going on, it's only a play, then nobody suffers. If an actor on the stage knows he is playing the part, he has been given the part of a wife or a husband or a friend or a villain, it's only a part. For a certain time he has to play. He even enjoys playing that part. And he says, I have played my part well, maybe of that villain even. But if he becomes a part of what he is playing, he forgets that he is a player. He starts thinking it a reality. She is my wife, he is my husband, he is my child. His suffering starts making him suffer. His weeping starts making him weep. Then he is the one to suffer, because it is a play. There is no reality of the play. So similarly, Lord looks at the whole creation from a very different angle. He looks as a director of a play. Now, director knows what part every actor has to play. Some has to play, in the play they have to suffer. Some has to enjoy, some has to be killed, some has to kill. But director knows that they are only playing a part. There is no reality about anything what they are doing. So director becomes happy to see that play is being played very beautifully. So Lord is a director of this play. He is not a part of the play. We suffer because we are part of the play. And we have forgotten that we are actor. We have got involved with this play. Whatever role we are playing due to our karmas, we have become victim of that. We think it is a reality. We are not playing the part. We are facing the reality. actually which is not a reality. It's all illusion. So we suffer. And God doesn't suffer because He knows it's a play. He's separated from the whole show. So it doesn't affect Him if people are being killed, or who's killing or to whom killing, because He knows that they are not killing each other. He has given them the part to play.
I see that it's a serious business, God loving Himself. But if one is a sense of humour possible to laugh a lot on the path and
Yes, what can
enjoy
you do? What can you do? Why not play the part well and enjoy it and laugh over it?
And what does God sound like?
Guru Nanak even has said, it's very cruel play. Some mystics do speak when they were playing the part. But when they become separated from the part, they become part of the player, part of the God, then they also say the same thing. This is only a play. Nobody suffers, nobody is happy. It's all illusion. So they speak from different languages sometime at different levels. But they go through. So Guru Nanak, at one place he said, the Lord is very happy to see the part being played in this creation. Because we have to go through all that and we get so involved with each other. So we are the one who to suffer. Our attachment to each other makes us suffer. You can imagine who was our mother and a father and a wife and children in the last birth. We have forgotten all that. When we are not now suffering for them, who's going to suffer for the present ones now? Children come through the parents. They don't belong to the parents. They have their own destiny to play. Parents have their own destiny to play. Nobody belongs to anybody in this creation. They all belong to the director. Whatever part he has given them to play, they are playing it. They're puppets.
Thank you, Master.
Master, I'm to you right. I was just inspired by that what you said to ask. Always in my life I felt like doesn't matter what happened to me. I always made a joke out of it. I said it doesn't matter, life is just a stage. And I had going to satsangs for a few years, and I said, well, wait until you see the Master. He's going to take that life out of you. And now, after I met you, I just feel it did not happen. I'm still as happy as I was before. Actually, I'm more happier. And I'm still looking at life as a stage. And if I get something bad, I say, well, that's my part, so I apply it, or it doesn't matter. You think it's that, I see what you say, that's the right attitude. Is that correct?
Perfectly all right. Provided we can develop that attitude. But we get, brothers, so much involved with the part we play that we forget that we are a player. We really start thinking they belong to us and we belong to them. And there our suffering starts.
Yeah, thank you very much for that one. Another thing was that I was very seldom attached to people. And they tell me, you don't have feelings. And I say, well, I love you, but you can go, I can go, it doesn't matter. We don't belong to each other.
Well, you may behave like that without saying them all that. We shouldn't say unnecessary to hurt them.
Oh. How do you bring them to understanding that you love them in spite of it?
By saying you don't show your love at all. By keeping quiet, perhaps they may be in the illusion that you still love them.
Okay. I have to chew that over a bit. I have You mentioned something that nothing happens without the Lord doing it.
No, nothing happens.
Now, since I was a very small child, I always had the feeling that I did not belong here, that I belonged someplace else. And I always had that longing. I know when I was a kid, I would look at the sky and I says, "Who is my home?" Is that what you call the pull of the Lord?
It is all grace, I would say, if that realization comes in us.
I see. Thank you very much.
Maharaji, coming to the Dera and getting all the spiritual uplift that we do get, it seems that it's all giving to us. We receive so much and we don't give very much back. And I ask you if you will give me a seva and in some little way give back all the love that the Sevadars have given to us in Master's will. I ask you for a seva.
Sister, take that love and help that love to grow, to serve others. We are all Sevadars. We are all fellow travelers. We are all meant to help each other, to be helpful to each other. We all belong to this institution. So we are all Sevadars. We have to play our part as Sevadars also.
Thank you, Master.
Master, over here.
Yes, please.
I have a question about seva. I am told that I have a very beautiful singing voice, and I like to sing, and I've sung in 4 nursing homes and hospitals and for churches. And I was in a choir for many years, and then last year the music started getting in my way in meditation because the songs would go through my head so much, and so I stopped. And people kept saying, "We miss you very much singing, because when you sing, we feel so close to God." And I'm wondering, am I being selfish not to sing, or is
Sister, there's no harm in singing, but one shouldn't be possessed by anything.
Yes,
There's no harm in singing.
but it can be a service.
Yes,
Okay.
if you do it as a service.
Yes. Thank you.
Master, I am a long-time seeker. Light has come through many windows, and what comes from you speaks truth in my heart, but I find I can't seek initiation. I think the thing that stops me is that there's an inside and an outside. And for me, there can be no barriers. Does that mean I'll always be a seeker?
Sister, I've just told you that one should never hurry for initiation, hurry to follow any path. One should make a very, very thorough search. Unless one can't help the pull, one should not yield. Take your time, don't worry.
Thank you.
Maharaji, to your left.
Yes.
A couple of days ago, you mentioned our tendency to become self-centered. And I'm wondering, what can we do if in general we find that's happening, or in some specific situation we're becoming self-centered? What can our attitude or our course of action be?
No, to some extent it is all right. But sometimes it makes us selfish. Very, very selfish. Though we are all selfish one way or another in this life. You see, this self-centered develops us in such a way, then we cannot tolerate each other's company. We find it very difficult to cooperate with each other. We cannot bear anybody's remark We cannot bear anybody's humor, anybody's joke, anybody's company. We can't stand anybody. But we are part of a certain chain, certain society. So we have to live with all of them. We may not belong to them, they may not belong to us, but we have to be one of them as in order to spend this life. So we should know how to cooperate with them, how to help them, how to receive, how to give.
Thank you. May I ask another?
Please.
Being here with you in satsang and in your company has had a very relaxing effect on the mind. I'm wondering, is there also a purifying effect on the mind being in satsang with the Master?
Attend to your meditation. These are all certain means to achieve certain end. But we should not remain involved in the means and forget the end. Ultimately, these means should lead us to that end. That is the main thing. We should not forget the end.
Thank you.
Radhaswami Master, I hope the question that I'm going to ask is not inappropriate. A few months ago I was reading Philosophy of the Masters, Volume 2, and I read something that was quite surprising to me. It was a story about a man who had been taken by the angels of death. I don't remember how it started, but he was taken out of his body by the angels of death, and they were dragging him before the King Judge Kal. And on the way to dragging him to Kal, they were beating him severely and torturing him, and he was in great agony. When they got before Kal, Kal took one look at the soul and he said, "You've made a mistake. This man isn't supposed to be here. You brought him out too early. Take him back." Is it possible that Kal makes mistakes when he takes souls out of the body?
Then what is the rest of the story? Can't complete it.
I don't remember it, I'm sorry to say. all I could think of was that I wanted to speak to the author of the play about that.
That day Professor said the story. He said the same thing in the meeting here.
Okay.
You see, these are stories. They have no authenticity about anything. Neither any angels came, nor anybody was being dragged. They are stories. To, you see, impress upon us a certain point. The time of death for everybody is fixed, at a fixed place. Story as told by Professor that day, it comes in a Masnavi by Maulana Rum. And that was mentioned in that Philosophy of the Master. That he was the prime minister of a certain king. He was in the garden and he saw the angel of death in the garden. And he got frightened that perhaps he has come to take me. And he ran to the king. "You give me some horse. I have seen the angel of death and I want to run away from the death." And he ran away to Baghdad. And there, when he met, then again he saw the same angel of death. He said, "Why have you come here?" He says, "We were a little surprised there that we were to meet you here. How was you there?" So you can't avoid the time and the place of death. There are certain things, you see, just story, in a way of story. Persian mystics have the art to explain us such a certain spiritual truth through stories. As in the childhood, I don't know about your countries, but it's quite prevalent even in your country, fairy tales. Grandmothers always tell children fairy tales. We have all forgotten those fairy tales, but fairy tales are a certain spiritual truth which the elderly ladies try to impress on our mind. The main thing was that spiritual truth which they wanted to, you see, engrossed in our mind, not those horrible tales, you see, are just fairy tales. But we used to listen to those stories as fairy tales. So similarly, Persian mystics, especially Arab mystics, Persian mystics, they have tried to share with us spiritual truth through stories. Every story has a certain meaning. Story itself, if you go on analyzing it, it will lead you nowhere. But the main thing is that spiritual truth which the story wants to carry and impress upon us. This was also one of the beauty of the great master, because his whole background was Persian mystics, Persian knowledge. He was scholar of Persian language. He had collected a lot of works by the Persian mystics and has written in a certain book, which we are preserving it. We have printed in the Glimpses of the Great Master also, certain pages of that book. So, you see, so all that was how great masters used to often tell those stories in the satsang. So every mystic has his own way of explaining us the such and spiritual truth. Some tell through stories. Christ now tells through parables. If you analyze these parables, they become meaningless. He says, first may be the last and last may be the first. We cannot take them so lightly. You have to go very deep to understand those. There was one parable which even, it took me a long time to understand it. He says, he invited so many people from the road for the dinner. King invited so many people, you see, for the dinner because the guests didn't come. So one of them was turned out because he was not ready. He didn't have a wedding dress, probably something like that, you see. He was not prepared. Where's the wedding dress? He was not spiritually advanced. So he was sent back to the creation. So every, parable has meaning. And he also says those who are meant to understand, they will understand. Others won't understand them even. So similarly, these stories, if we try to interpret it in a general way, they lead us nowhere. They have certain spiritual truths. We shouldn't analyze them very analytically.
Do you have a favorite parable?
Pardon?
Do you have a favorite parable?
I don't know which is my favorite, but I say so many things I don't know, and I forget what I say. It is for the people to know which is my favorite thing to say.
Thank you, Maharaji.
Master, I have a question. It's probably in one of the books, but I don't read a whole lot. This is about the light that you said yesterday was always there. And people, I guess scientists say that the sun, which we know is always there, has these explosions every now and then that even people on Earth can see. Well, my question is it true that some days the Master radiates more, or he gives more, or there's more power there than other days?
Sister, no. Master always radiates. Sometimes we are ready for that, sometimes we are not ready for that. Sometimes we look from a different angle, sometimes we are different angle, sometimes we are closed, sometimes we are open. Our attitude to look differs.
Okay. I feel so badly sometimes. People come back from seeing you and they say, oh, this time it was the best session. And I think, oh, gee, I missed it, you know. So maybe I have the assurance.
Everybody has their own concept of a good session or a bad session.
Okay, great.
Some people think that if light talks are being done and jokes are being said, it's a very good session. Some people feel that if serious talk is being done about meditation, that is a good session. I don't know what is the concept of good session and a bad session. But sessions are always combination of good and bad.
Maharaji, once in satsang I heard the phrase pain is pleasure, and which confuses me because I thought on this path, pain is what you're trying to get away from, or...
You mean to say that there's only pain and there's no pleasure? I've not followed your question. Be it clearer.
Well, I don't know. I was pretty young when I heard it, but the phrase was pain is pleasure. And I just...
Pain is a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes, Christ had said in the Bible. You must have seen, must have read it if you have ever read the Bible.
No, I haven't.
You see, without pain you cannot get that pleasure. When a woman gives birth to a child, what she has to go through, you can imagine. And when she has delivered the child, you can imagine the expression on her face, how much happy she is. What has given that pleasure to that lady? Pain or anything else? At no cost she will try to sacrifice that pain because she knows there's a pleasure in that pain. There's a certain pain in separation of love. Terrible pain in separation. But will a lover will like to get rid of that pain of separation? No, never. Lover will never like to get rid of that pain of separation. He enjoys that pain of separation because he loves the object so much, loves the beloved so much, that even that pain gives her that pleasure.
Thank you.
Sabji, I want to thank you for coming to lunch today. The guests are always happy when the host comes to lunch also.
Well, I'm not a host at all, I can assure you.
The Holy Ghost.
I don't know who's the host and who's the guest. I've never been able to know in all of my ministry in Dera who's the host in the colony and who's the guest here.
And I want to ask if you would come
So
to dinner
Sangis are
tonight.
the hosts, the Sangis are the guests. They come, they cook, they eat, they go. And I don't know whom to thank. Whether I have to thank them or they have to thank me, I have never been able to know. Now, more than 200,000 people collect in the colony. You know, it's not a very ordinary job. It's a tremendous job for their stay, for their food, for their bath, all tea, so many other things one needs, you see. Everybody is looked after. Who looks after them, how they look after them, I don't know at all.
I think it's you.
I don't know whether I have to thank the Sangat or them or they have to thank me, I don't know. I have never been able to know it. And I even don't know who does it. They think I do it, I think they do it. The same situation is here in our satsang here. I am grateful to them. They come and thank me. I don't know why.
Master, may I ask you a question about concentrate on your third eye? Sometimes I feel so much pressure there that it's almost hurting. Is that normal?
No, sister, you see, you will feel the hurt only when you try to invert your eyes within and try to find something within. These eyes have nothing to do whatever you are going to see within. These eyes are only meant to see outside. So you should not try to physically invert your eyes within. That is why you feel this strain. At the time of initiation, it is very clearly explained. There is a different eye which sees all that within. So don't try to strain your eyes at all. Don't try to physically invert your eyes within. Close your eyes and forget about them. Mentally be here at the eye center, in the darkness here. And that faculty will open which will see all that within. Then there won't be any strain on the eyes.
So I have to feel it more inside.
Pardon?
So I have to feel the pressure more inside.
There won't be any pressure at all.
Well, concentrate there.
Just close your eyes and forget about your eyes.
Okay. Thank you.
Master, when we do Simran, we are told to either do Dhyan, or if we cannot, then try to imagine to be in the presence of the Master. Now I find myself increasingly doing something else, and I wonder whether that is right. There's a poem by Mirabai, and the last line is like this. I am he, and he is me. Along this line, during Simran, I imagine that I am in the Master, and that also means that that your forehead merges into my forehead, and that your eyes...
Sister, at what level Mirabai said that? That's the main thing. At what level of consciousness Meera said that word? I am he and he is me. When he reached that level, when he merged into that divine melody, when she became one with the Father, when she lost her identity, lost her ego, then she said, I am he and he is me. As Christ said, you have come unto me and I have come unto you. At that level, she said, our saying will be intellectual. That doesn't convey any meaning at all.
Pardon?
That doesn't convey any meaning at all. To feel intellectual. No. We have to become I in he and he in I. When we lose our identity in another being, when we become another being, at that level we can say.
But then is it not all right to imagine during Simran to be in the Master?
No. You just don't let your mind go out of the words. If you'll go on thinking in one way or another, you'll be lost and God knows where you will reach. Your mind should be 100% in the words. When you start thinking that, you forget Simran. Don't you?
Yes, because it's very nice.
Of course. But you should not be out of your Simran.
Yeah.
Be in Simran.
So then Dhyan comes secondary.
No question of secondary. Dhyan is to hold your attention there. The main thing is to withdraw your consciousness at the eye center and then hold that attention there. Both faculty has to be occupied. You can't ignore the first faculty.
Yeah, thank you.
Maharaji, over here.
Yes, please.
I came on the path late in life. This is my third time to India and your divine presence. I've learned that the life we have to live in the physical body is an upward, hard hill climb. But with your divine light and presence, if we take care and do our meditation, we will gain what we're supposed to in this physical lifetime, and that is no more return to the life in the physical body in a world of turmoil and confusion. Thank you very much.
Brother, there's no seniority in path. There's no question of coming first and coming last. Nobody knows who's first and who's last. Last may be the first and first may be the last. He knows best. So you should not worry whether you have come late stage in life or first stage in life. Whatever the opportunity Lord has given, make best use of that and leave everything to Him.
Maharaji, is there anything that I can do to make sure that I do get initiated? Because ever since I decided that I wanted to become initiated, I've been afraid that something beyond my control may stop it. Because I understand initiation is granted by the Master's grace.
Brother, I've already discussed about it with the other lady just before that. That's meant for every seeker.
I'm over here, Master.
Pull must come from within. You prepare yourself, and even if you spend your whole life preparing yourself, it's not time lost, it's time gained. Never rush for initiation.
Okay, thank you.
Master, I've got a question about bhajan. I find meditation really difficult, and my mind in Simran is in every which way and usually asleep. When I come to bhajan, I find that as soon as I don't even have the words to focus on, my mind immediately gets crowded with thoughts. So I can't sit in the darkness and I can't sit in the nothingness because my mind is so busy. And I often have neglected even doing bhajan because I do it so badly. I was wondering, is it just a matter of spending more time on Simran and making lots more effort with my Simran? Or can I do...
Simran, sister, what is the question?
I want to know about that time of bhajan. That's when you just sit in the darkness and try and listen, and if there's nothing there, just listen to the nothingness, is that right?
Yes. When you sit for meditation, hearing the sound, you just keep your attention at the eye center, whether you hear anything or not.
And when thoughts come...
With the help of Simran, automatically that sound will come.
And when thoughts come crowding in because your Simran's been weak, when your thoughts come in to your mind because your Simran hasn't been strong enough, do you just let those thoughts pass through like they're on a... You try not to get involved in those thoughts?
I'm not followed, you see. When with the help of Simran, with the help of concentration, sound automatically will come. Sound is always there. You will be in touch with the sound when the concentration is there.
Thank you.
Master, many times I've heard your definition of love. I see in the writings that grace could be said to be of equal importance, but apart from reading that it's something that is freely given, I've never ever seen a definition of it. Would you mind giving us one, please?
Definition of what?
Of grace.
Grace?
Yes.
Anything which pulls us towards Him is His grace. Anything which keeps us away from Him, we cannot take it as His grace. With this touchstone, you can understand whether it is a grace or not. Whatever pulls us towards Him is His grace. Whether any death in the family, whether any loss in the business, whether any humiliation in the public, whether any loss of friendship, if that pulls us towards Him, towards the Lord, I'll call it His grace. His grace is not to shower the worldly favors to us. That is our wrong concept of grace. Anything which attaches us to this creation, I won't take it as grace. But you can analyze the situation better in that light.
Thank you.
Master, I have two questions, if you allow me. One is for my daughter. Before I left my home in Hawaii, she gave me a picture one night to give to you that she drew of you. And I know when I get home she's going to ask me about it, and I would like to know if perhaps you received it.
Did you send it to me?
I gave it to Mr. Mehta to give to you.
Mr.
Mehta.
Mehta. Then I'll receive it.
Okay, thank you. The other thing, I would like to thank you.
I think this ceremony we have already gone through of thanking.
2 years ago, thank you. I would like to beg you for the strength in my daily life to do only those things that make you always happy. Thank you.
I'm always happy, don't worry.
Maharaji,
Yes, sister.
how do we know with solid certitude and absolute surety that the experiences that we have during meditation are not just the process of the physical brain, different from sleep, dream, and everyday consciousness? The very fact that all the saints...
Sister, one always knows whether it is a hallucination or whether it is a reality. If you are going to experience that too often, very often, naturally it can't be the hallucination. And when those experiences are always within your own reach and at your will, then it can't be hallucination.
The very fact that all the saints have described exactly the same phenomena points to the possibility that their lives of concentration on the sound and light was to escape the horror of existence and the terror of death. Is this path just an absurd delusion that we cling to in an act of desperation?
I'm not, you're frightened of the horror of the third region, or frightened of sound or light or what? My problem is that I can't see you, you can only see me because I'm just facing against the light. So you have to be very clear about your question.
Thank you.
No, you can please explain your question, don't worry. Explain your question properly.
The very fact that all the saints, the very fact that all the saints have reported exactly the same phenomena points to the possibility that their lives of concentration on the sound and light was to escape the horror of existence and their terror of death. Is this path a delusion, an absurd delusion?
Sister, their experience is bound to be the same. Every tourist who will go to visit Taj at Agra will have the same thing to describe. Their way of expression, the importance they give to some aspects of the construction of the Taj may be a little different. But on the whole, their description is bound to be the same of the building. And naturally, when our thoughts are spread into the whole creation, at the time of death, when suddenly the whole consciousness is to be withdrawn to the eye center, because whenever we face the death, unless the soul comes back to the eye, it cannot leave the body. So at the time of death, you are forced to come back to the eye center and leave the body. So it's so sudden that it becomes a horror to leave the body. Difficult because it is so attached to the senses, so attached to the creation through the 9 apertures. So it becomes very difficult for the soul to come back to the eye center. And this meditation is nothing but a rehearsal to die every day. Rehearsal to die, to live forever. So we don't feel that pain, that torture at the time of death. Otherwise, sometimes we have to feel that torture at the time of death. But if your mind is absorbed in that light and that sound at the time of death, question of that horror doesn't arise.
Thank you.
Radhaswami, beloved Sadhguru, we have read about serious flooding in the Punjab.
Pardon?
We've read about serious flooding in the Punjab. Could you comment on what seriousness might be to the Dera?
Well, brother, it's very unfortunate, very untimely rains and unprecedented floods. We have just experienced last week, rather we are still in the middle of it. We were absolutely cut off, Dera was cut off by rail, by road, by telephone, in every way. There was no telephone for a week, rather more. Train still is not accessible to Beas. We have just opened road today. Fortunately, the air was there, so I am here with you. And there was so much water in the Beas River, which I have personally experienced, that in the lower portion of the Dera, there was 5 feet of water. You have not seen the multipurpose shed, the ladies' shed, the lower portion of Maharaj Sawan Singh Sarai. It was all under 4 feet, 4.5 feet of water. Marking is still there. Fortunately, it has receded back. The whole farm was under water, and every crop, every grain of crop has also finished. At that we don't bother. But fortunately, there's no damage to any building in the Dera except the outer wall. That has all gone, and which we are building new. The Sevadars are very busy. Actually, I should have been there with them at this time, but I had to keep this commitment with Sangat and you people. So it was very inconvenient for the Sangat because they had all gathered there for the monthly satsang, which was on 25th September. The rain started perhaps on 23rd, 24th, and suddenly 1 o'clock at night on 25th night, the water came from the river 2 feet in the Dera, and we have to shift about 300 trucks and buses which was parked outside the Dera towards the river, so that they may not all come under the water. The whole night Sevadars were working, but they salvaged all those buses, all those trucks, and they have to shift all the Sangat, all people, children, ladies, upper portion of the Dera, which fortunately we have a lot space there. And we have built a new shed, which is practically ready. There I held satsang on the 25th evening. So they all shifted there at night. We had stored a lot of wheat for our annual consumption. Some portion of it was in the lower portion of the Dera, and about 7,000 quintal wheat has been spoiled. It just fermented and giving awful smell. That is being dried now in the whole Dera. All roads are full and it's being dried in the sun. Let us hope they'll be able to salvage it. Otherwise, they will sell it for the animals and all that, you see. And we will have to buy new wheat. But still, by His grace, we have sufficient stock for our langar to continue. There won't be any shortage for wheat in any way. So there's no human loss. And we don't have any animals. Our tractors, our machinery, farm machinery, they were all underwater. So they can be repaired, there's no problem at all. But fortunately, there's no human loss at all. But in my life, I'm 72 now, I've never seen such floods at Beas, at Dera. But By His grace, we are all well. There is no problem at all. Sangat has faced very courageously. They were all entrapped from every side, so they had to stay for about a week in the Dera. And some of them were rather very happy that they don't have to go to the Dera. Initiation was continued as ever. It was about 8,000 people were initiated. And now a road has been opened in different directions. The train has not started. So people have practically moved out of the Dera by roads. Still, if you read local papers here, you will read very awful picture of the whole Punjab. That is just, I can explain to you about the Dera. But other part of the Punjab is still worse. It's horrible. Village is all surrounded with water. Government is doing its best, but the loss is so colossal that I don't think any government can reach to that level of help. They can lend it to the masses. They're trying to rescue people by helicopters, but how many people in a village can be rescued by a helicopter? What about their animals? What about their food? What about their clothes and their belongings? They can't be salvaged at all. So practically washed away, and then the danger is always of spreading some sort of cholera or any disease you see after the floods. So we'll have to face whatever it is there. Even Haryana is also my district where my farm is. That is also quite surrounded by water. But everything is within control. Now it is receding, it's going back. The river is quite calm. A similar situation has also arisen in Pakistan, because all these rivers land in Punjab, Pakistan. So perhaps they are worse than us, unfortunately. No, fortunately hospital is at a quite high level. It is about 25 feet higher than the river bed. So it is quite on the higher level, so there's absolutely no damage. And hospital was a great help to the people who were marooned or who needed medical attention. So they were very helpful to people. Absolutely safe. Dera is also very safe, except the lower portion, which was marooned by water. Some of you may not have seen it. The lower portion we filled, actually that was the river bed. More or less it is our fault, because we try to make use of the river bed. The river has shifted far away, so we filled the river bed and constructed buildings there. So it belongs to river. So sometime old friend again visits. So, but still it has receded back now. Where we serve langar and all that, that was under 4 feet of water. Now we are shifting our stores up. So we have become wiser after the event, so we won't make any stores down now. Other places in Punjab are worse than Dera. But that is no consolation to us.
I have another question. When we meditate, the consciousness withdraws to the eye center. And when we sleep, then the consciousness drops to the throat center and below. What happens when the body falls asleep and makes all the typical movements that a body makes during sleep, but the mind stays awake and does Simran actively and consciously? What happens to the consciousness then? Does it split?
You mean to say when we are able to withdraw to the eye center, how the body functions?
No, I mean that usually during meditation, it is said that the consciousness withdraws to the eye center. And when we fall asleep, then the consciousness drops to the throat center or below.
Throat center.
Yes.
Then
what happens when the body falls asleep and the mind does Simran consciously? So when both happens.
You see, mind sometimes does Simran even in sleep. When we are quite used to doing Simran, whenever mind is free, we are in the habit of keeping the mind in Simran, then we feel even while sleeping or even in dreams, our mind is doing Simran.
Yeah, does that mean that even when we sleep, we have some kind of control over Simran, let's say, for instance, for the...
No, this is the habit of the mind. You have no control. Even you are doing Simran, you have no control on the mind. Because this is the habit of the mind to do Simran. So, under the influence of that habit, even in dream stage, it's doing Simran.
And it's also possible that...
It's a good sign because mind doesn't have odd type of dreams. At least it is in the right direction. Otherwise, you have no control over the mind at that time of sleep.
I was wondering because it seems possible that Simran could be accelerated or slowed down during that kind of situation.
Simran can be?
Slowed down or accelerated.
You can't do anything because you are sleeping. You have no control on the mind. Just as you have no control over your dreams. What dreams you are going to get, what type of dreams you are going to get, it depends upon, you see, suppressions of the mind, your associations of the mind, about your whole daily activities. But at the time of dream, you have no control over the mind.
That would mean that if I have the feeling I have the control over the mind, then the body is not really asleep, even if I think it is.
Sometimes we remember our dreams, sometimes we forget them. By the time we get up, we forget what we are dreaming. Sometimes we do remember. But one shouldn't give much importance, any meaning to these dreams. Dreams are after all dreams.
No, I'm not really talking about dreams. It's really a different state which I'm talking about, or I think it's a different state. It's when doing Simran actively, like I can accelerate it or I can slow it down, and at the same time I have the impression that the body is asleep, not the mind, just the body. And then I wonder, what happens to the consciousness? Where is the consciousness then? In the eye center or in the throat center?
Then you are dreaming. Your consciousness is at the throat center in the time of dream.
Not when I'm dreaming, for instance, when I'm meditating, or when I think I meditate.
Well, if you are able to concentrate here, then consciousness is here. If your mind is still running about, then consciousness is spread into the whole creation. It depends on what stage of concentration the mind is.
Is it possible for the consciousness to split? To split, to be in two places at the same time?
Yes, definitely. Mind can project itself into many forms. You can give a lecture and yet you may be thinking about something else. Your mind, some part of your mind is not there. Some part of your mind is lecturing, talking to another person. Some part of your mind may be wandering about somewhere else. Mind can project in many ways.